The biggest thing for me was, I was being told at that time that the storyline of that era was we're never going to be good on defense, doing what we do on offense. That was the theme of the year, I guess. I don't get that question anymore. It was like, well, we're never going to be good on defense if this is what we do. And the reason I hired Brent is because of his experience at Oklahoma for 13 years of not only playing it and preparing for what I wanted to do offensively all the time and going against some of the best quarterbacks that in college football history that he's seen over those 13 years, but also, more importantly, preparing your defense in practice every day. I mean, he saw everything at Oklahoma. That's one of the things I was intrigued with. I mean, he had Mike Leach as an offensive coordinator, all the way up to this past year's coordinator. I mean, he saw it all. Sumlin, all those guys rolled through there. And, he wasn't worried about that. He had a good understanding of, how to get a defense ready, regardless of what the offense is doing. He didn't worry about that 1 second when I talked to him and interviewed him. Hey, this is what we do on offense. Is this a problem? If this is a problem, then we got the wrong guy here. And it was not. In fact, it was just the opposite. He felt like that what we do on offense prepared them defensively better for what they see. Mostly in college football. So, that was a real big positive right there.
Speaking of coordinators on offense, how's that transition going? And as a guy who knew Chad eventually was going to get a head coaching opportunity, is that something that you prepare for? You kind of, because you hired from within. I mean, that you were grooming guys, but knowing that was going to be a possibility.
Oh yeah, as coach, you never just sitting around going, well, let's see here, I'm going to figure this out. We lost a coach. You always, or at least you should, you better have a plan all the time. And you're always updating your plan, tweaking your plan, changing your plan, challenging your plan, as you learn and grow as a coach. That's just the way it is. But when you talk about your staff and your personnel, my personal philosophy is when you can promote from within, that's what I believe in. It's not always feasible. Sometimes the guy's not quite ready, but I've made a lot of decisions in 6 years, and probably the easiest decision I've made was replacing Chad. That took about 30 seconds because that plan has been in place for a while, and I coached Tony. I mentored Jeff. I had great confidence in those guys. They did a tremendous job. It's just so funny. Sometimes, coordinators, people think that the coordinator just walks in and like the other coaches just sit in the room and sit on their hands. I mean, that's just not the environment that we have. It is a very interactive. Everybody's involved, and it's always been that way. And that's the thing. That's one of the things that I loved about Chad, and one of the reasons I hired Chad, is he wanted everybody's input, and he delegated a lot. So when you have that type of situation, you're able to develop your staff. And I just feel like that Tony and Jeff are going to be tremendous. Both those guys are going to be head coaches one day as well.
But there's going to be a transition because there's different voices, there are different stuff. I mean, is that something that is pretty far along now?
Well, the blessing for us was Chad got the SMU job right after the season. So, we had a whole month as a coaching staff, and we got a chance to kind of go. Most time when there's coaching changes, your first time together as a staff, the first live bullets you get is your first game in the fall, because we don't have preseason games, and they don't let us play anybody in the spring. But for us, we got to roll up our sleeves as a staff and get everybody in place and get Streeter in there and get the press box the way we wanted it and go play Oklahoma. So it was a huge head start in the transition. That doesn't mean we're going to, win every game. That doesn't mean we're going to score every first play call and all that kind of stuff. But from a transition standpoint, we are way further ahead than where we would have been had we not had that opportunity.